The silent cradle of Kamuga. In the village of Kamuga, where the hills rose gently to greet the morning sun, lived a woman whose name carried both reverence and sorrow, Achieng Nyar Gem. To the eyes of her neighbors, she was blessed beyond measure. Her cattle grazed in abundance, their horns gleaming in the light of dawn. Her granaries were never empty, always brimming with millet and maize, a testament to her diligence and fortune. A blockhouse stood proudly on her land, the kind admired by all of Kamuga, for it was rare to see such strength and permanence in a homestead. Even a vehicle rested quietly by her door, a symbol of prosperity, while her neighbors walked the long Murram roads barefoot, carrying loads upon their heads. Water tanks rose high above her compound, glistening like guards in the sky, promising that thirst would never visit her household. Yet beneath all this wealth and comfort, there lived a silence, a hollow emptiness that gnawed at her heart. For Achieng Nyar Gem, though surrounded by blessings, carried a sorrow unseen. She longed for one gift that no wealth could buy, no cattle could trade, no granary could store, the gift of a child. Her prayers were whispered into the wind, her tears hidden in the folds of night. "Give me even one," she pleaded to the heavens. "Even if the child is born with disability, I will carry it all. Just grant me the dignity of motherhood." Her yearning was not for pride, not for name, not for praise from above. It was for the simple joy of holding a tiny heartbeat against her chest, of rocking a cradle with her own hands, of hearing a voice call her mother. Every sunset reminded her of what she lacked. The cradle she had woven with her own hands sat untouched by the wall, its emptiness echoing louder than the laughter of children outside her gate. Even the wind seemed to know her sorrow, carrying whispers of her grief across the hills. The guava trees in her compound bent low as though bowing in sympathy, their branches heavy with fruit that could not fill the void in her spirit. For some blessings, she knew, were those fate chose not to make. A child could not be bought, a child was given in time, and time for Achieng remained silent. Then one morning, the sun rose gentler than it had ever done before. As she worked in her compound, a flutter stirred beneath her ribs, a delicate movement like the brush of a butterfly's wings. Her breath caught, her hands trembled, and her eyes filled with tears. Heaven had opened its door. The women of Kamuga ululated softly when they heard the news, their voices rising in joy. Cattle swayed in delight, as though they too understood. Even the wind carried sweeter songs that night. At last, her miracle had come. A child was growing softly within her womb. For months, Achieng walked with a new light in her step. Her prayers had been answered, her heart filled with hope. She sang to the life within her, whispered promises into the night, and prepared her home for the arrival of the child she had longed for. The cradle, once a symbol of emptiness, now awaited its occupant with anticipation. Her neighbors rejoiced with her, for Kamuga was a place where joy was shared and sorrow carried together. But fate, jealous and cruel, had written another ending. One evening, as the rains fell and the clay paths of Kamuga grew slippery, Achieng returned from her granary. The night was heavy, the moon hidden behind clouds. Her foot slipped on the wet clay, and she fell. A silent cry escaped her lips, swallowed by the darkness. "Please, don't leave me too," she whispered, clutching her stomach in fear, as though her words could bind the child to her womb. The midwives came running, their faces etched with worry, but silence filled the room. Achieng lay wrapped in grief's cold embrace, her miracle slipping away like smoke. The cradle she had woven sat untouched by the wall, a dream unbroken yet never to live at all. The women wept with her, the cattle grew restless, and even the wind seemed to mourn. Kamuga itself fell silent, as though the hills refused to greet the sun. Achieng Nyar Gem had carried heaven's light, only to lose it softly into the night. The child she prayed for, the child she had promised to love whole, was gone. Her tears fell into the soil of Kamuga, mingling with the rain, leaving behind words she never spoke aloud. "Even one," she cried, "I would have loved whole." And so, the story of Achieng became a tale whispered in Kamuga, a reminder that wealth cannot shield the heart from sorrow, and that some prayers, though carried faithfully to the heavens, return unanswered. Her name lived on not for her cattle, her granaries, or her blockhouse, but for the silent cradle that bore witness to her longing. The hills of Kamuga still greet the morning sun, but they carry with them the memory of Achieng Nyar Gem, the woman blessed with everything, yet denied the one gift she desired most.
Kamuga's hills greet morning light, where Achieng swell shines ever bright. Golden cattle, all she commands, but empty cradle in her hands. The cattle graze, horns gleam like sun. Full granaries' day is never done. But by her wall a cold, still space, no baby's laughter, no warm embrace. Oh, silent cradle, a whispered plea. Achieng's heart aches endlessly. Her guava trees bow in sorrow's breeze for the child she yearns among the leaves. Then hope was born, a tender ray. Her dancing steps welcomed the day. But cruel fate tore the thread so fine, left her with grief, a bitter sign. Oh, silent cradle, a whispered plea. Achieng's heart aches endlessly. Her guava trees bow in sorrow's breeze for the child she yearns among the leaves. Her tears now feed the soil and streams, mourning a love held in her dreams. Kamuga's hills remember her name, a silent cradle, an eternal flame.